Delhi has been under stage 4 of GRAP since 8 a.m. on November 18, which means construction and demolition activities are forbidden and vehicles registered outside Delhi, other than electric vehicles and those with PS6 diesel engines, are not permitted to enter the capital. Despite these measures, the air quality fluctuated between poor, very poor, and hazardous over the last 8 days. Pollution is a killer. In 2021, 148 out of every 100,000 deaths in India were attributable to polluted air, as per the State of Global Air report. We spoke to Dr. Arvind Kumar, a thoracic surgeon and chairman of the lung transplant division at Medanta, Gurugram, to understand how air pollution affects our health.
First of all, air pollution affects everyone who's breathing. The only people who are not affected by the ill effects of air pollution are the ones who are not breathing. So if you are breathing, there is no way that you can escape the ill effects of air pollution. That's number one. Number two, having said that, there are some groups who are affected more than others. And who are these groups? So pregnant women are badly affected. Young children are badly affected. So from birth till the age of 13 and 14, the growing children, they are badly affected, and so are the elderly. And fourth group is people who have comorbidities, which means they have pre-existing diseases, whether it is heart disease, lung disease, kidney disease, they are on steroids, they have other problems. So these are the four groups which have much worse effects than average population. Having set its feet in the lungs, the chemicals from the polluted particles and the gases pass the barrier in the lung and get into blood, and through blood they reach every organ in the body from brain to toe, and they have their ill effects on every organ. Air pollution affects lungs badly, but it also affects brain, heart, kidneys, liver, intestines, bones, reproductive system, endocrine system. There is no system in the body which is not affected by air pollution. So common diseases are in the chest. So you have breathing difficulties, asthma, COPD, emphysema, lung cancer, interstitial lung disease, tuberculosis, allergies. These are all whole range of chest diseases which occur with much higher frequency in people who are exposed to air pollution. In heart, there is premature blood pressure, high blood pressure in children. There are rhythm disorders in children. There are rhythm disorders in adults. There are heart attacks in adults. There are heart failure problems in adults which are there in the heart. Come to brain, there are hyperactive children or attention deficit problems in children, IQ not developing to the optimum. When they grow into adults, then brain attack, which is known as stroke, much higher incidence, dementia, Alzheimer's, all the sleep problems. Sleep problem is now one of the commonest problems which is emerging due to exposure to air pollution. So there are nervous system problems, there are cardiovascular system problems, there are lung problems, there are problems with endocrine system, diabetes, obesity, various reproductive problems. So there are now pollutants which have been demonstrated in the sperm and ova. So probably infertility also is to some extent being caused by this. There are cancers which are being reported to be caused by lung cancer is one of them, but there is also now data that breast cancer also is somehow related to this. Intestines are affected, bones are affected, kidneys are affected. There is no organ system in the body which is not affected by air pollution. So smaller the particles, more is the chance of its going into the periphery and causing problem. Gases escape up to the periphery, get absorbed and get into the blood. So all of them cause damage, but PM2.5 has particle And more importantly, it has a lot of gases and other toxic chemicals adsorbed on its surface. So it's a combination of particulate matter and gases. That's why it's the most feared of the whole lot, but each one of them causes damage. Ozone is actually the least understood of the various pollutants, and when the ozone rises above a certain level and there is a prolonged exposure, there are more serious chest effects which are reported with ozone. And many places ozone is not a primary pollutant, but it gets produced in the process of various activities. For example, when you have these photocopiers inside the offices, regularly being used, so there is ozone which is released from the photocopiers also, and that's an important source of in-house or indoor air pollution, where the ozone is coming from that area. Similarly, when you have electrostatic precipitators in various anti-pollution devices, those are taking away the particulate matter, but they are producing ozone also. So that's what I said, the ozone is least understood, but is a very serious thing, and sometimes there are reports that it could actually be sudden exposure to very high levels could be fatal also. And if you have a pre-existing lung disease, as is the case with a lot of people in Bhopal, it makes matters worse. So these are 12 major pollutants. So you have particulate matter, where you have PM10, 2.5, 1 and less than 1, and then you have various gases where it could be carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, it could be oxides of nitrogen, oxides of sulfur, then you have ozone, then you have various chlorofluorocarbons which come from the air conditioning units, you have aromated hydrocarbons. We have the byproducts of the hydrocarbon use, that they are called polyaromatic hydrocarbons, and then you have whole lot of products coming from the combustion of various things. So you have crop burning, you have garbage burning, you have all kinds of things being burned. There are different chemicals which are coming from them, sulfurans and various oxides, lead is there, ammonia is there. These are also very important pollutants. So there is a long list of these things. When you have AQI being calculated, you have 8 of these which are taken into consideration by the CPCB while calculating the AQI. But those are not the only 8 which come. When you look at the list, it's endless. There are hundreds and hundreds of them which cause, because there are byproducts of each. When you burn petrol or you burn diesel, it's not just one thing which comes out. Depending on the kind of combustion which is taking place, there are a whole lot of intermediate products which come out. The sum and substance is that all of them are harmful, and a lot of them are class 1 cancer causing agents. Class 1 cancer causing agents are ones which are definitely proved beyond doubt to be direct cause of cancer. So there are about 70 chemicals in the cigarette smoke which are known to be carcinogenic, and the polluted air is just no different from cigarette smoke. That's precisely the reason why lung cancer is increasing in incidence. It's occurring at younger age, it's increasing in women, it's increasing in non-smoking population, and it's occurring at younger and younger age and with increasing frequency. In fact, I reckon that probably next 2 decades India will see a epidemic of lung cancer cases, because I already see that happening in my OPD. The percentage of the number of lung cancer cases as a percentage of my total OPD attendance is rising continuously. So 30 years back, maybe if there was n number of cases, n% of my total patients would be lung cancer. Today that number is many times more. 50% of them are non-smokers, and there are 40% women non-smokers. They ask this question, I've never smoked, why have I got lung cancer? And I have no answer, because when I tell them that it is because of air pollution, their awareness is still low. No doctor, in my city there is no air pollution. those kind of answers. Most of them are stage 4 cancers. 90% of the lung cancer present at an advanced stage. So since we are located in North India, bulk of the population which comes to us is from the North Indian states. So I'm not in a position to say whether there is a higher incidence in North India. But when we look at cancer registries, when I talk to my friends in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Trivandrum, because there are cancer registries and there are cancer hospitals there, they also report that they are seeing more and more non-smokers coming with lung cancer. I mean, the number may be 50-50 with me, it may be 40-60 with them. But the fact is that this trend of non-smokers also getting lung cancer is there across the country. Maybe it's more in north, less in south, I don't know, but it's there. So this was studied by University of Chicago, and they concluded that across the country, Indians lose about 5 to 5.5 years because of exposure to air pollution. And when you divide it between north and south, people in north, particularly Lucknow, Delhi, this typical north belt, we lose about 8.5 to 9.5 years because of exposure. If we were to have air quality like WHO, we would live about 9.5 years more than what we are living today. 95% of the surface area of our country is now exposed to higher than recommended levels of air pollution. So maybe in Chennai, people are exposed to lesser levels than they are in Delhi, but those cities are also catching up fast. And last year, there were 2 or 3 days where Bombay AQI was worse than Delhi. So maybe in 5 years' time, this north-centric thing will disappear and it will be a problem across the country because the causes are same. Maybe there are some environmental factors which operate in the north, but probably other factors will overcome this environmental factor and it will be same situation everywhere. No. Whatever damage has happened. So if there is some particle which is deposited in your lung, that is not removable. It is there. It becomes part of the tissue. It gets integrated into the tissue. So there are now oxygen bars which say that, okay, come and breathe pure oxygen for half an hour, detox yourself. That's just fooling people. Whatever damage, as we know for smoking, that whatever damage smoking has caused, when you stop smoking, the further damage stops, but the damage already caused never gets reversed. Likewise, the exposure to air pollution, whatever damage it has caused, if you stop your exposure, probably further damage will stop, but whatever damage has happened, this will not reverse. So the only hope lies in people realizing that it's a huge health issue. One, people need to prioritize health over everything else. Today, everybody's attention is more towards wealth, pleasure, enjoyment, and health is a very low priority. When it's a question of enjoyment versus health, usually enjoyment takes precedence. Wealth takes precedence, even if it's coming at the cost of health. Now, unless this attitude changes, this problem of air pollution is not going to go away. No, it's not going to go away. People need to accept that it's hurting your health, and if we don't do what needs to be done and do it today, tomorrow is going to be a disaster for you and more so for your children. We all claim to love our children. We all want to leave a lot of wealth, etc. for them. What good will that wealth be if they are not healthy enough to use that wealth? Each one of us is contributing. You may be lighting a small diya in your house, you may be lighting a small fire in the street, putting something else on fire somewhere, throwing out a lot of garbage which ultimately gets burnt in the refill sites, all that is adding to the pollution and is coming back to your lungs. So while we wait for government level steps to be taken to phase out fossil fuels, because they are the primary culprit, we need to take these small measures to reduce the people induced small contributions. And if dust and smoke can stop being contributed by people, that will be a small step, but a step in the right direction. 100% of my interviews, the question asked to me, well, the levels whatever as they are, what can we do to protect ourselves? And I now refuse to answer that question, and I say, please talk about what can we do to prevent pollution. Because once pollution is there, there's nothing that you can do to protect yourself. It's like saying that there is a pond which is filled with dirty water. You're wearing a white safari suit. You want to jump and you ask me, well, I have to jump into this pond. Can you tell me how can I prevent my white safari suit from getting dirty? Answer is not possible. Likewise, if you are breathing in an AQI of 900 and you ask me, can you suggest to me the ways to protect myself? The answer is no way. There's only one way. Stop breathing and you are safe if you can do that. Short of that, cleaning that air is the only way out.